the 5 sales objections and how to overcome them. It's said that the sales process has 5 general sales objections that you must overcome in order to be successful, and that if you can in fact overcome these sales objections, that you can sell anything to anybody. Well, over the next couple of minutes, what I plan on doing is showing you how easy it is to completely sidestep every last one of these sales objections and guarantee success every single time. However, before we can do that, we need to look a little bit more in depth at each one of these sales objections to determine why they're so important and some of the easier ways to overcome these sales objections. Now, the first sales objection that you must overcome is that your prospect's in no hurry to buy what you're selling. Now, the reality is, in today's day and age, everybody's in a hurry to do everything quickly. Everybody wants the answer to their questions as soon as physically possible. So what you need to do as a business or as an individual is to capitalize on this by being in a position when these prospects want to buy. Once you're in the position for them to find you, you completely sidestep that objection completely. Now, the next sales objection that you must overcome is that your prospect has no desire to buy what you're selling. Now, this is more about developing a unique selling point, something that separates you from the rest of the competition, something that positions you slightly different than the rest of the competition, something that has your prospects salivating at the concept of buying from you versus buying from somebody else, and that if you can do that, you can pretty much guarantee that this sales objection will not be something that you need to worry about moving forward. Now, the next sales objection that you absolutely must deal with in order to be successful is that your prospect has ultimately no need to buy what you're selling. Now, there's a concept taught in business schools all across the world, and I'm pretty sure I learned it in high school. You may have learned it even before then, and it's called supply and demand. And it's as simple as that. If a market needs what you're selling, they'll buy from you. And if they don't need what you're selling, they won't buy from you, no matter how you try to sell them. So make sure that you've done a little bit of research to ensure that your market does actually need what you're selling. Now, the next sales objection that you must overcome, and it's a touchy one, is that your prospect can't afford what you're selling. Now, the reality is, if you are actually legitimately dealing with this sales objection, then you haven't researched your market properly. You shouldn't have this sales objection because you shouldn't have a client profile of who your ideal buyer is. And if you have that, you'll be able to know that they can afford what you're selling. So make sure you build that profile and know who you're selling to. Now, there is another sales objection that ties into this one, because I do believe when you talk about the ability to afford, it's more of a fear thing. And that moves us nicely to the final objection, which is that your prospect just doesn't trust you. And now, I do believe that this is probably the biggest sales hurdle that everybody in sales has to overcome. And it's not that your clients just don't trust you, that they think you're going to do anything bad or anything like that, or that your buyer thinks you're going to take their money and run. It's more about a situation of they don't know you. They don't know anything about you. You have absolutely no perceived value in the marketplace, so they have no need, desire, or rush to buy from you over anybody else because you haven't positioned yourself any differently. So how do we overcome all of these 5 sales objections? Simple. By using Google to rank for the product or service that you're trying to sell. If you can do that, basically you remove every last one of these sales objections and you position yourself in front of prospects that actually want to buy from you. And as we all know, by being on page 1 of Google, that ranking, that listing, and I do mean anywhere on page 1, comes with a perceived value of trust and credibility that anybody who's not on page 1 doesn't have, making it very easy to completely sidestep the sales objection process and guarantee success every single time. You can sell without actually selling by ranking on page 1 of Google. Now, as I said, this was just a quick video to show you how easy it was to completely sidestep these sales objections and guarantee success every single time. Hope you've liked what you've seen so far. And if you'd like to see more videos just like this, you know what to do. Subscribe to the Background Marketing YouTube channel, and we will deliver more content just like this in the future. As always, thanks for watching.